Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Road to the Top 500. My name is Ryle Pop Golden, and just like last episode, today we're running the same team. These are my battles from May 21st, so a few days ago. Same team as last episode, Skarmory in the front, and then Altaria and Whiscash in the back. I'm not going to say how we did, but I will say this is the last time this team is going to be on this road. So 3 things for today's episode. 1, I hope anybody watching this, or everybody rather watching this, learns something from it. And the second thing is, I hope I learned something from it, from going back and watching these battles. Hopefully I could see some misplays or things that I could have done differently. And the third thing is, I'm going to try very hard to pay only attention to what's going on in the battles, not get caught up in my own babble and confusion. So, without any further ado, here it is, first battle, Road to the Top 500, Day 2. Alright, so first battle, we see a Registeel. This is almost primarily the reason why we don't like Skarm in the lead anymore, just because Registeel is just so many people's leads. So now we have to go into Whiscash, and it looks like he changes out right at a good time, right when that Mud Bomb's going to come out. So he hits us with the Focus Blast, does a ton of damage, and then Whiscash is just getting every quick move from that Hypno. It's just really putting a hurting on us. This looks like an L, and it's been 30 seconds just from watching it, and he's going to try to farm us down and have a bunch of energy to just Ice Punch and Thunder Punch everything in the back, and this is not a good game for us. Now we have no real good answer to Registeel. Maybe Altaria could whittle it down. It used its energy, and we're taking about 35% from that Thunder Punch, and Hypno's going to be able to get off another one from all that farmed energy. So this is not a great way to start the video, but that's how it goes. Sometimes you turn on the game, you go, alright, I'm ready, I'm gonna take over today, and you start getting whipped off the rip. So you just gotta bounce back and do your best. So another good switch for my opponent here. They take one Sky Attack on the Altaria, and then they're gonna take one on the Registeel, and now I'm gonna come in. We both have 2 shields left with Altaria. I know I could take one Flash Cannon. It does about 50%, and we could whittle it down. I'm trying to hang on to these shields. Maybe Altaria could make something happen if I can get him to burn his shields, but he's not going to budge, and I'm going to have to budge here, otherwise we lose the game. So we're going to block this Flash Cannon, farm him down, and see what we could do to that last Pokemon in the back. Instant Sky Attack. Did we have to do that? Yeah, we don't want to farm up anything. I mean, this looks like an L still easily, even with the shield. We have so low HP on the Skarmory. That was just terrible right from the rip. So right into the second game, that was just Skarmory, terrible lead against Registeel, and then we took so much damage from them staying in with the Registeel, and then they had something for our Whiscash, a nice bulky, little bit of a liability for some Pokemon fighting against it, Hypno, but they played that very well, and we had no chance right from the beginning. So here we see Skarmory Umbreon game, and this is an interesting one because I learned from it that Umbreon does gets its moves off very quickly, its foul plays off very quickly, but this is going to end up turning into, if I decide to block this here, I could get switch advantage, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going to let them keep switch advantage, and I'm going to start charging up with Whiscash. And again, Umbreon is so good at just getting its moves off very, very quickly, and it almost gets off another foul play right there, and we're at about a 66% Whiscash, but they go Haunter. That kind of telegraphs that they have something else that's weak to ground in the back. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember all these games, but they have to block both Mud Bombs right there, and then they switch into Lantern, so we do confirm that he has something weak to Whiscash. He has some farmed energy on that Haunter, but it's not going to matter. We still have some shields, and that's going to be that one. So first game really bad, second game really good, and now we see a Registeel lead again for game 3. we have to go into Whiscash, and now they have a safe switch right there in their Sableye in case they lost lead, and this is going to be interesting because it takes a ton of damage off Mud Bomb, but it's also going to do a ton of damage to us too. We're going to elect not to use this shield even though it spits out about 50% to us. We're going to try to hit him with another Mud Bomb and knock it out. It's going to block that one. Good play. And we get off another Mud Bomb before they're able to do anything there. And this time, well, we leave them with like 1 HP. Literally like 1 HP. And we have to take the L there. And now, not the best spot. Maybe, I mean, we're up a shield, which is good. They still have switch advantage, and they go Azumarill. Now, this is a terrible spot for us because we can chip it with Sky Attack, and then I'm thinking I'm quickly going to go into Scarm right here. And I do, but before I can, they had that Ice Beam ready to go. That's going to do like 90% damage. So if we go into Scarm right here, they're going to go into their Registeel like they do. And this is pretty bad for us. We did farm up some extra energy on the Altaria. For the really only way we could win this, I'm going to say, is if we can chip down the Registeel enough with Scarm and then have it use this attack right here to knock us out. We're going to let this go through, and then maybe Altaria could come in and whittle it down with Sky Attacks and Dragon Breaths until it's knocked out. And then, if we whittle it down, we'll have enough farmed energy to knock out the Azumarill with some Sky Attacks. But he still has a shield, and even though Bubble's not going to do too much, that's the main reason why we're going to let that Flash Cannon go through. And we're going to try to whittle it down, and we do. So now we're actually potentially in the game. We're going to force the shield with the first Sky Attack. And it has about like 45% health. We have to obviously use the shield here, otherwise we lose. Now maybe this will do enough. We're going to get to that Sky Attack first. I don't think it's going to be enough, and I don't think we're going to be able to Dragon Breath it down. But maybe we... Oh, we actually do. We actually do. How do we pull that one off? That was a pretty ugly game. Lost lead, but Altaria took the team on its back right there and really did everything. Another terrible lead right here. Another steel lead with the Melmetal, but all these steel leads are just good against Scarm because Air Slash, Sky Attack, just not that good. So we switch into our Whiscash, and they have another somewhat of a safe switch right here with Umbreon. We're going to get into one of these, you know, I don't want to say ticky-tack charge moves, but Mud Bomb isn't doing too much on that. Really not doing much at all. Probably like between 15-20%, and their foul plays are doing much more. So Whiscash is literally the Melmetal answer. We have to switch out immediately, hoping that we can keep that in the back for Melmetal. And wow, perfectly timed switch, and they go right into Rock Slide. As I guess it wasn't that perfect because I thought we were gonna go for a Sky Attack on the Umbreon, but we don't. They switch out. We take a couple Rock Slides, and it looks like we're gonna go for a Flash Cannon here. They're probably not gonna block it, but Melmetal. Oh, they do block it. Okay, good play on my opponent's part because Melmetal's pretty frail, I think. So even that would have done some good damage. So right here they superpower. They're gonna get that nerf a little bit on the attack and defense stat, and we're going to go for a Mud Bomb here. They let it go through, and now we actually have a chance at winning this game. They bring in Umbreon. We're going to let Whiscash get knocked out. If they didn't do that, when they saw the Altaria, we would have been in some pretty deep doo-doo, I will say. But if they have something weak to Altaria in the back, if it's an Azumarill, we lose, obviously. If it's not, there's a chance we win this game. But the fact that they let Melmetal go through and value the shield over that, it's an interesting play. So now we both have a shield. This is going to be a KO Ice Punch, I think. We're going to have to block it. And them having a shield, even when we get to a Sky Attack, they're just going to block it and Ice Punch. And that's going to be the game, I think, from what it looks like, unless we could whittle it down and pull off another miracle like the last game. But we can't. GG 2-2 so far. So we're going to Game 5. I'm not getting confused this episode. I'm also not drinking out of 2 glasses this episode. I got 1 big glass for this episode. So a good Game 5. Medicham going to take that super effective air slash damage from Skarmory, so they switch very quickly. We have a good counter switch against Jirachi in Whiscash. Those ground moves are super effective against Steel, and he wants to protect that. Look at all the quick damage that Jirachi's racking up on us. Steel is not very effective against water, so its Doom Desire won't do too much, but we saw how much it did, and we know that it would knock us out right now. So them having already used both of their shields, we're going to do a bunch of damage with this Mud Bomb, actually take the Jirachi out. So we see the Metachamp come back and take care of us, and now we go back into Scarm, and now this is a good spot for us. I mean, we have switch advantage, we are up a shield, and we have a very good current matchup, until they go Azumarill, and this is pretty much the matchup that we want to keep. This looks like it came out pretty quickly. It's probably an Ice Beam, and it's not going to knock us out. We're going to get to another Sky Attack, and I would like to think, instead of letting it charge any more energy, I would go quickly into my Altaria right here, and this is perfect because now we're going to be able to block that Ice Beam. It wouldn't knock us out, but we're going to be able to block it, or we're going to block it, farm it down, and then right when this Metachamp comes back in, we're going to hit him with a super effective Sky Attack. So first set, 3-2, positive with this team. We get a Larvitar. I know in my last, before I was doing the road to the top 500, I was doing just battle videos, and the goal, it seemed for me, was to always get those encounters. I loved winning 4 out of 5 before they updated it to winning 3 out of 5, but now we need wins. Forget the encounters, every dub is important, trying to get into this leaderboard. So here we go, second set of 5, a lot of babble coming from me. Here we go again, more Registeel. I can't wait for the later episodes because you guys are just going to see just a lead answer against Registeel. That's all I'm going to say. So, here we go. We've got to play this game. I go Whiscash. They don't really have the best counter for Whiscash because now they have to play an interesting game. They see that I farm up enough energy for Blizzard. I Mud Bomb, they block it. I'm going to farm up a little bit more, even a little bit more than a Blizzard, to let them know that I have a Blizzard. I don't want them thinking I don't have it, and then I Mud Bomb again. And they think that it's a Blizzard and they block it. They almost kind of have to, but then we finally hit them with the Blizzard, and then they go Meganium. That's going to take us out, but now they're down both shields, and we have switch advantage, which is really nice. So here we go. And I think that single-handedly won us the game, just forcing them to use both shields on the Altaria and then hitting them with the Blizzard and still not... I think we used one shield, right? Oh, no, we didn't. Oh, we protected... I don't remember. Doesn't matter. We took one Sky Attack, I think, but we had to protect possibly against the second one. But I'm paying attention. So, here we go. We need Altaria to whittle down this Registeel, and then once we do that, Scarm can easily take care of the Meganium. So, good way to turn this game around, and before that Registeel gets knocked out, they're going to go into Meganium, and we're going to go right back into Scarm, take an Earthquake. Doesn't do too much, still not very effective against a Flying type. It would be super effective against a Steel type, but in this game it's not, it really shouldn't affect Skarmory at all, but in this game it does. It's just not very effective. So, different from regular Pokemon VGC, but we get the dub 1-0. So now Scarm versus Munchlax. Munchlax is a body slammer, a little bit of a tank, and I'm not really a big fan of Munchlax, but I have been seeing more and more of it. They take a lot of damage right there, and then they switch into their Registeel, and that's perfect for us because even though they have farmed energy on that Munchlax, we're in a great position. We almost always take that first Focus Blast, even though we know we're going to take about 55%. We take it because we can hit these Mud Bombs faster than they could hit those Focus Blasts, and after they take the second Mud Bomb, sometimes they Desperation Flash Cannon before we quick move them down right here. I do think they have enough for Focus Blast, so I am going to use a shield. It was Focus Blast, and I'm actually going to whittle them down, and I keep some energy here. So I use this Mud Bomb instantly, not knowing what's going to come out. It's a Jump Bluff. That's absolutely horrendous. And they go right back into that Munchlax. But this is good for us because we have Altaria in the back for Jump Bluff. And I mean, I'm not so familiar with Munchlax, but you could probably think of Body Slams coming. Probably has enough for a second one, as it does. And it's whittling us very slowly, but we got one shield out of them. And Maybe we get the second one right here. We do, which is great for us because even though it has a little bit of energy, we still have Altaria. Altaria against Jumpluff is, I would say, a GG. That does about 25%. We're going to try to whittle it down. It is going to get another body slam off, and we're going to protect this one just because we feel like we could do more damage, or we're going to take more from that body slam than we are against this Jumpluff, even though it was the right play, I think, but the Aerial Ace does just a little bit under that. So now we're going to try to farm this thing down and then knock out the Munchlax as well. So the Aerial Ace is not going to knock us out. We are going to be able to farm it down and then Sky Attack for the win. So 2-0. Just peeking over to see how this set actually plays out, but 2-0 is a pretty good start. So here we go, we got an Altaria matchup right off the lead. Now, this is, when I use Altaria against a Skarmory, I feel terribly. We take a ton of damage, we don't do that much damage, but for some reason people, when they use Altaria against my Skarm, it seems like it holds up pretty well, but that person is probably thinking Altaria doesn't hold up that well against Skarmory, which it shouldn't. So they go into their Registeel, and we have that counter right there in Whiscash. We farm up a little bit extra, because we know if they shield, we can just hit them with another one, hopefully. But they're actually going to get to theirs first. And it was a Desperation Flash Cannon. We would have been able to take that and live, and then hit them with this Mud Bomb and knock them out. But they get the shield out of us. Will that come into play? Will that decide the game? Right here, it looks like I'm going to try to go for a Blizzard play, and he goes out into his Azumarill, so I'm going to hit him with a Mud Bomb, and then I'm going to go back into Skarm. Hydro Pump will do a ton right here. Will almost knock us out, so we'll say a good play on using the shield right there. Sky Attack does a ton of damage. They're keeping their last shield. And I'm going to farm up, it looks like one extra time, and then go for a Sky Attack. Now this is going to be interesting because they shield, and now they're going to knock us out, I would think, with, or they're just going to Ice Beam. They're going to leave us with a little bit and then go into Altaria and farm us down. So now, we're not in that good of a spot. We're going to go into our own, that's hard to say, our own Altaria, and take a Sky Attack, and now they have a second Sky Attack ready. Or, not even. That's a Dragon Pulse, and that's a GG right there. If we were able to get a Sky Attack off and knock it out, then we probably could have farmed down the Azumarill. As we see an Azumarill lead right here, and this is the typical Skarm Azumarill lead, where we will charge up to a Sky Attack, and we will see that they have an Ice Beam because it would have taken a little bit more charging for them to get to a Hydro Pump. So I'm just going to farm. We're really not trying to rush anything, playing a patient game. We're going to be able to get off one Sky Attack. We're going to take this Ice Beam. We're going to keep a little bit of health left. And now we're probably going to lose lead right here. Actually, that takes care of it. So now we're in a good spot. That Sky Attack takes care of the Azumarill, so we can see straight up if they don't Hydro Pump, Skarmory will beat an Azumarill. So we see that this Haunter comes in, we go Whiscash, and they don't farm up enough to go Shadow Ball. It's a tough read you got to make sometimes, and Mud Bomb will do a ton of damage to Haunter. So we take the first one, and right here, I'm very surprised that we let that one go through, actually, because that took some guts to make that read, and they're going to use their second shield here. But now we have a two-shielded Altaria versus a Haunter. If I don't block this one, I mean, this is probably a Desperation Shadow Punch as well, so we don't block any of them. And that actually, I think, is going to end up winning us this game, potentially, because now they have no shields, we have two, and we always see that Altaria is pretty good at whittling down Registeel. So these two Flash Cannons are obviously going to get shielded, and we might be able to take it down, and then when the Haunter comes back in, we're going to be able to knock it out with quick moves before it can do anything. I hope. Especially because he used Shadow Punch the entire time. So right here, actually this is going to be a lot closer than I think. And Wow, that's a fantastic switch on my opponent's part. I go for the sky attack trying to knock him out. He goes right into the Haunter, and then before he can get that flash cannon off, we actually take that win. So 3-1 in this set. Everyone is important. Here we go. Deoxy's lead is a pretty good lead against us. Rock Slide does some good neutral damage, good against flying, bad against steel, but Thunderbolt will do a lot of damage. Even though defense form Deoxys, it's one of the, they say, the best and strongest Pokemon, bulkiest Pokemon, but it actually takes a good amount of damage from Sky Attack. I really thought there that we could take a Thunderbolt, and from my experiences playing that matchup, you take a Thunderbolt and you could still get them with a second Rock Slide, forcing them to use a shield. But we couldn't do that this game, so this is just looking terribly for us, because now this defense form Deoxys is looking like a thug, looking like a god. It really took out my first Pokemon, and I mean, we have farmed energy, but it almost knocked out our second Pokemon, so this is just not that good. We don't even have that much farmed energy. We're letting this Azumarill quick move us down, and this is right off the rip. You could tell if we got off that second Sky Attack with the Skarmory, we would have been in a much better spot. We would have either forced a shield or had switch advantage, which wouldn't have made too much of a difference because they have an Azumarill. So right here, looks like I switch, I go into Altaria. I'm going to try to start farming up and keep that Whiscash in the back. Ice Beam or Player Off, super effective against Altaria. So they go Registeel here, and we're switch locked. So looks like we go for Dragon Pulse, try to do a little bit extra damage. Doesn't really do anything extra. Could have just went for Sky Attack and kept some energy. And here's a Flash Cannon, and we see we're still switch locked. That timer is not even close. So 3-2 in that set. 6-4 so far. So we're positive this team is doing not too bad. Not too bad. We see a Larvitar. Pretty good Larvitar. They always look real good, and then you PvP rate them, and they're terrible. And you get a Pokemon that's like 8 and 2 and 5, and then you PvP that, you rate that one, and it ends up being real good. So I don't understand how any of it works, but I like Pokemon battling. So here we go, Bastiodon lead. This is a terrible matchup for us. But this is why we have that Flash Cannon. It's going to do some pretty good neutral damage. We're going to have to block that Flamethrower. It doesn't do a ton of damage. And we're going to try to make a read right here. And it looks like it's going to be pretty successful, because Stone Edge or Flamethrower are both not going to do much. And that thing takes a lot of energy to use moves. So this is horrible for us. Victory Bell. They opt not to shield. They have 2 shields. Quick moves do a ton. We go Scar. It takes a ton, and it takes a long time to farm up too. So right here, I think we're going to try to bait a shield. It knows that we have Flash Cannon, so we go Sky Attack, and nothing doing. He doesn't fall for it. So good play on my opponent's part. So now we're going to try to Flash Cannon, and they're going to let it go through, and we get the farm down. So they do have 2 shields to my 1, but we have an Altaria. So the shield game doesn't really matter that much, just because it takes so much damage from Dragon Breath. So instantly, you know, it could have tried to bait us out with a Mud Bomb, but we're not even gonna go for a charge move here, just because we know they're gonna block all of it. They don't bait us with the Mud Bomb. They go for a straight out Sludge Bomb. We block it, and then the second one doesn't take us out. So we take a dub right there, leaving our opponent with 2 shields. And I think they should have used one on that Bastiodon, but they didn't. They probably were protecting it for the frail Toxicroak, so frail that it actually gets knocked out by quick moves. Toxicroak I don't like too much. I tried it for a while. He's cool. He's got a good moveset, but he is frail. Altaria lead here, takes a ton of damage off the Sky Attack, opting not to block it. This one will knock it out. They are going to block it, and now they're going to hit us with one that won't knock us out, but they will be able to Dragon Breath down. So we're going to try to Sky Attack, I think, and win the switch advantage, or they're going to be out 2 shields, which is, either one of those is good. They decided to stay in this whole time, so they're going to get very little from us, in terms of charging up with that Raichu. We're going to go Whiscash, but we have to be careful because this thing can Grass Knot. It does have a shield, as do we. So they opt not to use a shield right there, and we're going to save our Whiscash, and it is a Grass Knot. So they switch quickly into Meganium instead of letting that Munchlax or that Alolan Raichu get knocked out, and then they get switch locked into Meganium. We go Altaria, and that's the dub. So 2-0 this set, starting off strong. And here we see this super hype triple legacy Sea King everyone talks about. Doesn't seem like it's that good against Skarmory. So let's see what it does right here. It is going to Icy Wind, which does a solid 25% and gives us the gives them the attack debuff. And they're still going to use a shield to block our Sky Attack. And they hit us with another one. They get another buff, but they're down a shield, and we're still doing pretty good damage to it. And now we just do a ton of damage to it, and we almost can knock it out. I kind of want to keep switch advantage here, but I do let the Icy Wind go through, so we lose switch advantage, but we are up a shield, and we have one little bit of farmed energy. So we see an Altaria, we go our Altaria, they go Defense Form Deoxys. So this is why I think I maybe should have used that shield, because if I did, then I wouldn't be in this weird switch lock position. So we take one Rock Slide. We're going to get to this Sky Attack before they get to another one. I feel like they're going to have to block this, and they do. And then they're going to try to knock us out with this Rock Slide. We're going to let it go through, and we're going to put everything that we have into this Whiscash. We're going to farm up, farm up, farm up, farm up. Going to use a shield right here, even though anything it would do wouldn't do too much. They go into their Altaria, and we instantly go into Blizzard right here, knowing that they don't have any shields. And then we farm down to the Deoxys. So, good game right there. Interesting. They had Altaria. If that Altaria knocked out our Skarmory, we could have went into Whiscash, and that would have been maybe bad for us. If we went into Altaria, it would have been Whiscash versus Deoxys at the end. So I think that would have been a win either way for us. But it works out nicely that we got them to use that second shield on the Deoxys. So here we get some quick damage in. And then this is an interesting play by me to go into Whiscash, because I'm leaving myself very vulnerable for a switch. And then that would put me in a terrible spot if they have something that could mess up this Whiscash. But they're leaving Defense Form Deoxys. They're not switching, letting me know that maybe they're weak to Whiscash, and maybe I should be using these shields, but I'm not, and I'm going to farm down even though I only have about 20% health left. So the second they bring in, I didn't even see what they brought in, it was so fast, Azumarill, we're going to go right into this Mud Bomb and start just Mud Bombing away. And then we go back into Skarm. Still a 2-shield game. Our Pokemon are a little weak, but we're making some moves now, because they're not switching at all. We're switching a lot, and that's pretty interesting. So we're going to block this Hydro Pump. That would take us out, and right now we need this Skarmory, because that's how we're going to take care of this Azumarill. And maybe they know that, because they blocked that Sky Attack. And we're going to get another one off before they can. So we're going to knock out that Azumarill. Now we have a shield and an Altaria Mirror Match. So I'm just going to block the first one, knowing that this is how this game is going to go. We're going to farm each other down. I'm going to Sky Attack. I don't even want to go for the Dragon Pulse and risk anything crazy. I'm just going to do a bunch of damage and then try to farm it down. If it gets the Sky Attack off, it won't knock us out. Then we're going to be able to farm it down. Plus we have some other guys in the back. So that's another good win. Played it a little funny. Definitely could have been punished, but getting away with a lot in these games, I will say. So 4-0 so far. Going into game 15. And we see an Umbreon lead. Now, we've seen this before. We know that Umbreon gets to its charge moves very quickly and is very tanky. Umbreon is... I like Umbreon a lot. I thought very, very much about including Umbreon on some of these teams, but when I wrote everything down and thought about the type advantages and disadvantages and whatnot, also the fact that I don't have a last resort Umbreon, it just didn't come together. So we let them keep switch advantage here. Skarmory outright will lose to Umbreon in the lead. That is something to keep note of. So we go Altaria here. We take one foul play, and we're going to be able to farm it down before it gets another one off. We're at about 65% health left, 2 shields up. Takes them, looks like a little while to make a decision, and we go right for a Sky Attack, which they take. And it looks like I'm considering going into Whiscash to take this Ice Beam, which I try to make a good read on, and they don't bite at all. So we blocked the Ice Beam. Could have taken the Ice Beam. Probably should have taken the Ice Beam, but it looks like they had enough for a Hydro Pump, so we blocked that. And now they have another move coming out very quickly. And this one we're going to let go through, and it is another Ice Beam. And those do about, I don't know, 35% it looks like, something like that. So we're Mud Bomb spamming right here. It's going to block one, which is good for us, because anytime they block a Mud Bomb with a tanky Pokemon like that, it's pretty good. So we try to go Altaria and farm them down quickly and be a little cheeky, but they go right into Defense Form Deoxys. So now this is an interesting game. Rock Slide's going to do a ton. We each have a shield, so this is not looking too good for us. We're going to try to farm a little bit extra, just because we know they don't have another attack ready. They are going to block this. Can we farm them down? It's going to make the difference between the win and the loss. We can't. We're going to take a Rock Slide. Now, can Whiscash come in and take care of this Deoxys and also clean up? Oh, right as we hit the Mud Bomb, they're going to hit us with the Ice Beam, and it's going to knock us out. Oh, I looked at my sheet and I knew we were going to lose the game, but seeing us that close to it is still like a little bit of a heartbreaker. So 4-1 that set. Right now we are 10-5. Let me see, Tepig. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I don't like Tepig that much, especially because, look at this right now. I had to speed this up like crazy because he's such a little pain in the ass to catch. Alright, he's okay. I only care if he's perfect. If he's not perfect, get out of here. So this kid's name is Fear Me, I Am Lag. And right off the rip, we see some lag. I didn't even know that was going to happen, actually. I was going to say we should fear him because he has a Alolan Raichu versus our Skarmory. But we go into our non-safe switch only out against Alolan Raichu Whiscash, and they meet us with Azumarill, as we've seen quite often in these battles. So we take an Ice Beam, does some good damage, and we're keeping our shields for that Alolan Raichu, knowing that we need Altaria to take care of it if Whiscash can't. Hopefully Whiscash can, but it's not looking too good, so we keep that energy. And they go, instead of going to that Alolan Raichu, they're going to go into Altaria right here, which is, an interesting move, because now we have a pretty good matchup with our Altaria or our Whiscash versus that Alolan Raichu. But they still have the Azumarill, and that's bad for both of those Pokemon. So maybe, we got to keep that shield for that Alolan Raichu. This is an interesting game. Seeing them going to Altaria right there, they could have easily went to Alolan Raichu and done a ton to us, but they opted to go with the Altaria. So we blocked this Thunder Punch, and Alolan Raichu is pretty frail. So they use a shield there, and we have the saved up energy, so we're going to get a Mud Bomb off. They're going to let it go through, and it's going to knock out, actually. So now we're both at 0 shields. I'm going to Mud Bomb right here. I very much want to think about how that transpired and why they would have done that, and how much information they had on us, so that they didn't see the Altaria yet, so I don't know why they opted to do that, but they saw Skarmory and Whiscash, and we were switch locked into Skarmory. They didn't know we had Altaria. Interesting. Alright, so we get a Sky Attack off, we knock out the Azumarill, and here we have a good lead against this, another Altaria. And so that's very important right there. Even right when you get to your charge move, you don't want to use it all the time, because you will see people timing you out with stuff like that. They know when that attack is coming, and now I have a bunch of stored energy on a Skarmory instead of wasting it on a Registeel that would have taken it very, very well. And I believe in one of the earlier games we saw a mistake where I did opt to use a Sky Attack very quickly and they switched out and it was just terrible for us. So right here we learn from that mistake and we say, alright, let's farm a little bit more energy with Skarmory. And let's keep that energy instead of wasting it on a well-timed switch, and it would have punished us for sure. But now we have 2 shields, and we know that Swampert is pretty frail, so they block the Sky Attack. We go Altaria against theirs. They have more energy, but we are up a shield. So right here we have an Altaria and a Skarmory versus an Altaria and a Swampert, which I think is a good position for us. We should be able to farm this thing down. It is going to try to hit us with another Sky Attack. Do we let it go through? No. Oh, it's a Dragon Pulse, actually. And we farm it down, and we're going to try to Sky Attack quickly right here. But that Swampert is raring to go with an attack, so now this whole game is different, because I think we should have let that shield... We should have hung on to the shield, let the Altaria knock us out, and then had Skarmory actually knock out the Altaria, block the first Hydro Cannon from the Swampert, and we're actually going to get away with it and block this Hydro Cannon. And it did have to use that energy to knock out the Altaria, so maybe that was the right play. It turned out to get us the win, so decisions like that, questionable decisions, things to definitely consider when you go back and watch your game. So here we go, another Registeel lead. In a well-timed switch, now we're switch locked, and we see it again, Azumarill. That actually didn't hurt us too bad, their switch, because we were going to Mud Bomb the Azumarill anyway. And now we do it again. We have a third one ready to go. Azumarill is... When I go Azumarill against their Whiscash, I feel exactly how everyone else feels when I'm Whiscashing their Azumarill. It just charges up energy so quickly, and I love Whiscash. I try to go for a switch here, and I don't really know why. And I'm going to go for one now, and they're going to go right back into that Registeel, and that was not well played on my part. I should have just Mud Bomb maybe. And now I'm switch locked, and they're up a shield. And we have a Skarmory versus a Registeel. So you can see pretty quickly how this one's going. Even if we get off the Sky Attack, it's still just not looking very good. Hopefully they Focus Blast us here so we can come in with Altaria and try to farm it down and have some stored energy for the last Pokemon, even though they have shields. But we're going to go Whiscash instead and try to Mud Bomb it. If they let this one go through, now they have 2 shields on 2 Pokemon, and this is not very good for us. It's a Sableye, which would normally take a lot of damage, but because they have so many shields, they're going to let the first one go through. That's fine. The second one, they're going to block. We're going to try to quickly come in with Altaria and farm this thing down. We still have a shield, so now the game is actually not completely, out of reach. This Ice Beam would knock us out, so good switch and attack from that Azumarill, and we're going to try to farm it down, but Dragon Breath does very, very little to Azumarill, so we can't... They're going to use their last shield right there, and that's going to knock out this. And even though they have no shields, our Whiscash just has so little damage that we're going to knock each other out at the same time, and we're not going to be able to get that Mud Bomb off against the Sableye. So we take the L right there. And here we go. Now we have a better lead against Altaria. And they go for that Sky Attack the second they get it, which is fine. We eat that, about 20%, and we're farming a little more. Now we go for Sky Attack, which they are going to block, and we're already ready for a second one. So them leaving Altaria in against Skarmory is, it's an interesting play. So they go Vigoroth here. They put themselves in an interesting spot because it's either, it's just a typical you lose the lead situation. Do you want to get switch locked, or do you want to be down a shield? And in this case, they're down a shield, and then they do decide to switch lock themselves into Vigoroth, which is a pretty, it's a safe switch for sure. We don't really have the best answer for it. So we go Whiscash here. We know that Whiscash could take some body slams, and they actually shield a Mud Bomb, leaving them very vulnerable late game. And we're going to go Altaria here and start farming up energy. We're going to take a Body Slam. It does a very good amount of damage. And now we see a Lantern right here. And that's not good news for us, even though we have a shield. And Dragon Pulse does a good amount of damage. We're going to let this Thunderbolt go through. And it's actually going to knock us out before we can get to anything else. Now we're actually in a pretty bad spot. Even though we're up a shield, we need to try to farm as much energy as possible so Whiscash can just go to work. We do have the shield. Let's see what we can do with it. So Altaria comes right back out. We have to block this. There's just no option. And then they go into Vigoroth, and we have to, unfortunately, use this energy to Mud Bomb and try to knock it out. But maybe we could farm enough before it gets a Body Slam off. And now maybe we can get to a Blizzard before it can knock us out. And right as we have the Blizzard, it knocks us out. Oh, watching all these games still like breaks my heart as it did when they actually happened to me. Except I didn't react like this when they happened to me. I was a little angrier, I think. So here we go. Stunfisk lead against Skarmory. That's everything you want as a Stunfisk player, is to see Skarmory in the lead. So we go into our non-safe switch Whiscash, and they go into our punish you for not having a safe switch Tropius. And even though they're switch locked and we have Altaria, and Tropius is horrendous against Altaria, we're still not in a good spot because we lost Whiscash. So here we're taking Leaf Blades, not even Aerial Aces. We're farming. I don't have a good joke. I was going to say like daylight savings time farmers or something because we're farming a whole bunch, but that's kind of corny. So it doesn't really make sense either. So we see the Registeel. I don't know why we switch here. Well, I do, because Altaria is the Stunfisk answer, and we actually get a Flash Cannon instead of a Focus Blast. So we have to block this first discharge, and gonna hit him with a Sky Attack. It's not gonna do much at all. This is a pretty bad position for us, both having shields, and Altaria is gonna need to knock out a Stunfisk and a Registeel. With him having a shield, it's not looking very good, so I try to not let him get any more energy right here. I am luckily able to get him with that second Sky Attack and Altaria's Sky Attack. He's going to let that one go through, and this would just do too much damage, so we're going to... It wouldn't do too much, but it would do enough. It might knock us out, but we're going to have to take it down, and now we're in no position to knock out this Registeel. It's just not going to happen. So 2 and 3 in set number 4. I feel like these battles are kind of flying by. So 3-2, 3-2, 4-1, 2-3. Let's see how we can end it. We see the Skarmory Azumarill lead. Now at this point we're familiar with this lead. Right when we get a Sky Attack, they attack. We know that we got to our Sky Attack when they went to use it, so that tells us not a Hydro Pump. It can't be. So we take the Ice Beam. Doesn't do as much as Hydro Pump would. They block the Sky Attack, and we get a second one off. Now we know they should have an Ice Beam ready to go, and they do. Excuse me. So we block this one. It looks like our Sky Attacks go out before their Ice Beams go out, and we're both hitting them at the same time. So now it's either I win switch lead or they use their second shield. In this case, they use their second shield. I think at this point I let Skarmory go down because now having some energy and a shield up against an opponent that has no shield is it's a really good spot to be in when your opponent uses their 2 shields on their first Pokemon. I think it's a really good spot to be in. So Whiscash, his quick move doesn't do too much to Azumarill, so we're gonna keep our shield and be at about 45% health left, and instantly when that Altaria comes out, we check to see if they switch. They don't. We hit them with a Blizzard. We do literally like 100% damage, and now being up a shield, we are gonna Mud Bomb their last Pokemon, which is Vigoroth, and then we're gonna go right into Altaria before they could farm up energy and start body slamming the Altaria, because they would probably farm down our Whiscash and then have a ton of energy. So now we're going to take one body slam, we're going to shield the second one, and we know that we can get to this sky attack. Even if they get to another body slam, it wouldn't knock us out. This sky attack will just about knock it out. It does. So, good game 1 in the 5th set. So, game 2. Skarm, Altaria, good lead for us. Instant switch into Registeel, easy decision for us. No need to farm, no need to do anything crazy, just right into Whiscash. We could take a Focus Blast, we'll take our 55%, and now we will start Mud Bombing away. Keeping both shields and putting us in a very good spot there at about 50%. We get to Mud Bomb much faster than they get to Focus Blast. Second Mud Bomb they let go through, and now is it going to be a Desperation Flash Cannon? We're not sure. We let it go through, wrong read, it was a Focus Blast, and that's going to knock us out. So we go Skarm, and that could cost us, because losing switch to lead now, I mean, we know what they have in the front, and they come back to it. Now it tells us, what do they have in the back? Is it something that's weak to Skarmory? We both have 2 shields, but this isn't that bad of a spot for us, because Skarmory is just straight up gonna win against Altaria. Now this is, I don't know if I like this play. I switch into my own Altaria, and it looks like I'm gonna elect not to use a shield, so I Sky Attack, and I'm just gonna farm down, and they go into Vigoroth before I can knock out that Altaria with farm down. So we do have a Skarmory in the back for theirs, and they're not doing a ton of damage to us with this Vigoroth, but we are gonna have to use a shield. I thought I almost didn't. That was very confusing. So probably should have just kept Skarmory against their Altaria. I tried to farm up some energy and wind it down, and I don't think that was that good of a play, because now they farm us down and they have a ton of energy, and before we could hit them with our Desperation Sky Attack, they're going to hit us with a Body Slam. We know it's not going to knock us out, and we probably could have farmed it down before it got off another one, but now we're locked into the Sky Attack, and now when this Altaria comes out, it's actually maybe going to be able to farm us down. And it does. And it does. And when that happened, that was a terrible feeling, but watching back now, you learn. You learn from it. So clearly we see where the mistake was made, and this is another one of those switch lock. You don't have a safe switch, then you better have something real good in the front that doesn't lose to a lot, and unfortunately we learned from these past 50 battles that Skarmory loses to Registeel straight up and to a lot of other things, and their answer for Whiscash is Venusaur, but they value their shields more than the Venusaur, it seems like, so Whiscash gets off 2 Mud Bombs and actually knocks it out. So now we're still not switch locked, still in pretty much just a 2v2, 2 shields, like beginning of the game situation, except that was interesting too. Okay, that was a misplay too, looking back, because obviously Altaria can do way better against Registeel than Skarm does, so why would even switch back into Skarm? I'm not really sure, and if that isn't already bad enough, they have a perfect answer for Altaria, or for Skarmory, I'm sorry, in Lantern, so now we literally just need to very desperately knock out a Lantern and try to... We do knock it out, and now we have so little left that... I mean, Lock-On does almost nothing to Altaria, but we're so low with 2 shields that, I mean, this is just not well played, I feel like. Even though if Altaria knocked out the Registeel, we would have went Skarm, they would have went Lantern, we would have lost that game anyway. They just had 2 better Pokemon against ours. So in this game, he doesn't. He starts with a Tropius, which is just like Skarmory's dream lead. And they go into Stunfisk, which is a perfect switch, or we have a perfect answer for it. Not perfect, because Mud Bomb still does a little bit of damage, and it charges up very, very quickly, so we're going to have to sit here and take it the way that Whiscash would give it to an Azumarill, where it's just like, alright, let me knock you out, and it's like, no, I want to keep doing annoying stuff to you. And we're going to get to a second Mud Bomb now before it can get to, I think it's 3rd Mud Bomb, and we're going to try to farm it down, and it's going to get, with the slightest little sliver of HP, 1 more Mud Bomb off, and then we knock it out. So the Tropius comes back out and knocks us out, but now we're in the same spot as the beginning. We go into Altaria this time. They go Registeel. We could have went Skarm right there, and then if they switched, we would have had Altaria for the Registeel, but we go Altaria and they switch. I think that could have been a tiny misplay. It doesn't look like it's going to change too much of the game state, because we're still going to have a Skarmory for a Tropius at the end. But I don't know if that was necessarily the right play. Because if we went Skarm, they would have switched. If we went Altaria, knowing they have a mystery Pokemon in the back, and they switch. I'm confusing myself and losing myself in the game. We win! Alright, so here we go. Next game. I will figure out what I was thinking. We will get back to that. So, terrible lead for us. Stunfisk. We're going to have to switch instantly. It's not even worth farming. We go into Whiscash, and they're going to, looks like Mud Bomb and not punish us. That Mud Bomb does way more than the other Stunfisk's Mud Bomb. So, right when we go for our Mud Bomb, they switch into Altaria. They know, that was interesting. It did literally, like, 0 damage. Or maybe, that was weird. Okay, so, they don't shield. They shield this one, thinking it's a Blizzard. And we're going to take this Sky Attack. I don't really know why. We're going to try to make them block a second one, make them think it's a Blizzard, and they don't. And that was not, even though we're in a bad position, it was not too well played on my part. So, as we watch this probably losing game, let me try to figure out what I was thinking about that last game. They had Tropius, mystery Pokemon in the back. We go Skarm against it, and then if they switch, I don't think it really matters. If we went Altaria, then they would have switched, which they did. And if we went Skarm, they would have switched, and we would have switched into Altaria. So, alright, so back to this game. Thanks for bearing with me. We have to switch, we have to shield this discharge because it does a ton to Skarmory, and now we are going to Sky Attack, and they're actually going to block it because they know they just have one up on us right now. Discharge is pretty much going to win them the game, and that's just a very good shield by my opponent. Now they're going to come in with a defense form Deoxys that they also had in the back, and this game has L written all over it, so we get out of there real quick. And that's it. 2 out of 3. It's been 52 minutes. 52 minutes. Wow. Alright. So, May 21st, 3-2, 3-2, 4-1, 2-3, 2-3. We finished 14-11. And at that point, we went from 22-92 to 23-17, netting us 25 points. We went 35 up, 15-11. And then we went 25 up, 14-11. So again, about 8 points a win. In the next episode, we have a new team, a team that I am very much excited to show everybody. And even though Great League's coming to an end soon, Great League's my absolute favorite. And I want to show everyone this too. Dollar Tree Pokemon packs. Go to Dollar Tree. And Dollar Tree is my favorite store in the world. They have everything. And they literally, when I saw they had Pokemon cards, even though it's 3 cards in a pack, for $1, still chance at hollows. And if you ask the nice lady, if you buy every pack that they have in the box, if you can keep the box, she will say, Tony, Ryo, of course you could keep the box. So now we have a Sword and Shield box for our collection. And maybe a celebration in a later episode, or maybe in a different video entirely, we will open these, because I'm kind of chomping at the bit to open them. Anyway, if you guys learned anything, I really hope you did. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any feedback or criticism or anything, please don't hesitate to let me know. If you enjoyed it, I'm obligated to say like and subscribe, even though I hate saying that, but you're smart enough, you know if you like the video you would like it, and you know if you like my content enough you would subscribe. Why do I need to say it? Because everyone says it. You have to say it. That's the rule. I might not say it anymore. Don't hold me to that. Regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, I always do this in other videos. We'll see you in the next one.